It follows weaker than expected results from 3M, Caterpillar, and American Express, all members of the Dow and the biggest decliners in that index today. The earnings news wasn't all bad, though. Profits at General Motors doubled, sold more GMC Sierra and Chevy Silverados. Shares right now up more than 4%. Southwest Airlines posted its 9th quarter in a row of record earnings. And McDonald's actually beat Wall Street estimates, even though sales fell again in the U.S. and China. And Fiat Chrysler, the parent company of Ferrari, filing paperwork to spin off the luxury Italian automaker and begin selling stock here in the U.S. to the public. I'm Tom Busby, CNBC Radio.
Overturned truck blocking the carpool lane, freeway construction slowing everything down. I travel for work. News like that used to ruin my whole day until I discovered Citrix GoToMeeting. With GoToMeeting, I can meet from anywhere using my computer, tablet, or smartphone. And with HD video, I simply turn on my webcam and it's like being in the same room, which means I can stay productive no matter how bad the traffic gets.
Visit GoToMeeting.com and start our free 30-day trial. That's GoToMeeting.com.
Have you had trouble with online dating? This is eHarmony founder Dr. Neil Clark Warren. We've created a new solution, EH+. EH Plus combines the personal attention of a matchmaker with eHarmony's extensive pool of great singles. EH Plus gives you hand-selected matches and freedom from being online. Get started today. Call 855-930-LOVE. That's 855-930-LOVE.
Slam the door on FeePay. Forget everything you know about selling online because I'm here to tell you about a new and revolutionary way to buy and sell on the internet. BuySellMakeOffer.com is here to shake up the web. Tired of paying those outrageous fees? You'll never pay a fee with BuySellMakeOffer.com. For a monthly membership package starting at only $7.95, you can list and sell up to 50 items. That would cost you nearly $100 with the other guys. Go right now to BuySellMakeOffer.com and sign up today.
And good afternoon, 12:02. I'm Di Rice with the very latest in live local news here on KCAA 1050 AM. Loredana Nesci, star of Sundance TV's Loredana Esquire, was found dead Wednesday morning in her Redondo Beach, California home. A distraught Robert Reagan notified police of an emergency at Nesci's home. Officers discovered the 47-year-old mother of one suffering from a fatal gunshot wound. Police are treating the incident as a homicide and have arrested Reagan, Nesci's boyfriend, in connection with the crime. Reagan, 51, is being held on $1 million bail. The couple have a young son together who was not home at the time of the shooting. Loredana Nesci has had her own program here at KCAA in 2013, and she was also a consultant for the station. The KCAA staff mourns the loss of Nesci. Yesterday, Riverside commissioners could not come to a conclusion as to whether officers acted within Riverside Police Department policy in the shooting death of 50-year-old Hector Eugene Jimenez. On September 13, 2013, Jimenez's 20-year-old daughter called the police stating that her father grabbed a kitchen knife and threatened her mother with it before going outside and sitting on a bench in their yard. Jimenez had attempted suicide in the past and had been released from the hospital earlier that day after being treated for health complications. When officers arrived, they surrounded him. The officers pleaded with Jimenez to drop the knife that was still in his hand. After about 5 minutes, Jimenez reportedly lunged at one of the officers, knife in hand. That's when they opened fire. And then traffic along a desert freeway bridge where the eastbound span of the I-10 collapsed during heavy rains will allow motorists to cross once again the westbound span in both directions starting at noon on Friday. Crews will strengthen the westbound side of the bridge in order to allow two-way traffic, one lane in each direction, that is, when work will commence on the eastbound side of the structure to get it operational. The existing detours will remain in effect until the opening on Friday. Inland Empire weather, sunny, cloudy, muggy is the story. Highs about into the mid-80s. 87 they're saying. Right now we're at 80 degrees here in San Bernardino. And taking you through your drive through the Inland Empire, stop and go traffic on the 91 westbound between Mission Inn Avenue and Central. And also in Desert Center, the I-10 is closed between the 86 and the 177. So just follow the detours and you'll be all right. That is the very latest with news, weather, and traffic on the station that leaves no listener behind, KCAA 1050 AM.
KCAA invites you to listen to professional money manager Bill Gunderson every weekday morning from 7 to 8 a.m. Bill Gunderson is a highly respected money manager. He's a regular contributor to MarketWatch, TheStreet.com, and Town Hall Finance. Gunderson has appeared many times on the Fox News Channel, the Fox Business Network, and CNBC. You can hear Bill Gunderson's daily insight into the market at 7 a.m. weekdays, right here on KCAA, the station that leaves no listener behind.
You can be intentional about your character, your work ethic.
You've got to be on the same page.
They were calling to let you know we are debt-free, house and everything.
You have done really, really, really good. And you're not going to quit now.
It's been a huge witness for us to be able to share that.
It was time to get serious.
Intentionality, people. Celebrate the success.
Oh my goodness, thank you so much.
This is your show, America.
If I knew at 22 what I know now, our life would be better off.
It's the show that's changing the world. Now you don't just listen to the show, you live it. Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, it's the Dave Ramsey Show, where debt is dumb, cash is king, and the paid-off home mortgage has taken the place of the BMW as the status symbol of choice. I'm Dave Ramsey, your host. You jump in. We'll talk about your life and your money. It is a free call at 888-825-5225. That's 888-825-5225. Alina is with us in Portland, Maine. Hi, Alina. How are you?
I'm good, Dave. How are you?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
So I'm actually calling today on behalf of my mom. My mom is one of the most caring people I know, literally has the biggest heart to the point where she's actually become an enabler to my sisters, who have both completely taken advantage of her and her money. And I don't think either of them realize it. So I'm actually the youngest. I have two older sisters. They're 29 and 36. And they both work for my mom and at this point are basically leeching off of her. And I see it. A lot of us see it. I don't think they see it. They constantly slack off while they're on the clock. They're more than likely logging hours that they don't even really work. And they're like constantly frivolously spending their money. They go get their nails done, their hair done, they go shopping, go out to eat, all the stuff you should not be doing when you claim to be broke. And whenever she threatens to take them off payroll, they say that they don't have money and they need to be on payroll. So recently it has been brought to my mom's attention how bad this has gotten. And she has sat them down, talked to them about it. Basically, if you don't get your act together, you're going to be out of here. And they always have something to come back, and they get all offended and kind of turn it around on her and make her feel like she's the bad person when she's not. And it's pretty awful. And it's just, for me, it's upsetting to see that my own sisters could go and do this to my mom. I don't understand how you could do this to someone that you really care about. So I'm just kind of trying to give her some guidance because I think it's killing her. She needs some help. She doesn't really know what to do at this point.
Okay. Is she listening to you?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Well, first thing I would do is get her a copy of the book Boundaries by Dr. Henry Cloud.
Boundaries. Okay.
Yeah. And you get yourself a copy, too, and both of you read it together because you're going to read about 2 chapters in and you're going to be laughing so hard you won't be able to breathe because your family's in there. Okay? You're going to be going, that's her. I know her. That's him. I know him. They're all in there. Okay? Yeah. Now, here's the trick to talk to your mom. All right? When you guys were tiny children and you were 4 years old or 3 years old, did your mother let you stand in the middle of a highway?
No.
If it made you mad and you threw a fit, would she have still not let you stand in the middle of the highway?
No.
Okay. Why? Because you get killed.
Yeah.
Because even though it made you mad, it was unloving to allow you to put yourself in danger.
Yeah.
Right? Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
So even though someone gets mad, just because someone gets mad doesn't mean your action is unloving.
Yeah.
That's number one rule. Number two rule is an enabler, which your mom is, are always nice people, which she is a nice person. You started the conversation with that. They're always the sweetest people on the planet. Where they mess up is their definitions. They define the word help improperly. They say things like, well, I'm helping your sisters. You don't understand. And in actuality, what she's doing is she's harming them, isn't she?
Oh, yeah.
Because they've become useless parasites.
Yeah.
And useless parasites are not what we want to grow as children, particularly 36-year-old children.
Mm-hmm.
And so she has done harm to them by being quote-unquote nice. So what we need to realize is the word nice means weak. You could be nice to your child and let them stand in the interstate and get killed.
Yeah.
But you could be loving to your child, even if your child is angry about it and throws a fit, and not let them stand in the interstate. Right?
Yeah.
So she needs to be loving to your sisters and fire their butts. They need to go work somewhere else, like in the real world where they have to work and can't lie about their hours.
Exactly.
And so they need to leave. That would be the most loving thing your mom could do. And it's not payback, and it's not punishment, and it's not hit back for the past. It's that this situation is toxic, darling, and it's not good for you. And so I'm going to move you out of this situation because I love you.
Yeah.
A mother eagle does not let a 36-year-old eagle sit in the nest. Right?
Correct.
An eagle that stays in the nest long enough is eventually known as a turkey.
Yeah.
And so that's what's happened here. You got a couple of turkeys. They're gobbling around all over the place. And mommy needs to let them fly and be free. And the good news is a turkey can fly. Not many people know that, but they can fly.
Yeah.
Push them out of the net, they'll fly, and by the time they do 3 or 4 circles, they'll start to look more like an eagle. And it'll be the best thing you've ever done for them. The most loving act, the nicest thing you could have possibly done for them, because you give them their dignity back. This is you talking to your mom. You hearing me?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, and you can play this back for her if you want.
Yep, I will.
Because a lot of families have this. A lot of families have this. We think we're being nice when we give a drunk a drink, because otherwise the drunk gets upset because you took their bottle away from them.
Yep.
That's not nice. It's weak. It's unloving. It's harmful to give a drunk a drink. It's harmful to support a lazy parasite who won't work. That's harmful to that person's character. Instead, we need to love them enough to help them grow their character. And so everybody says, well, Dave, you're into tough love. No, darling, I'm just into love. And sometimes love means my kids didn't like their daddy. Oh, I'll live with that.
Yeah.
It's one of the burdens I'll have to deal with. Yeah, one of the burdens I'll have to deal with is that sometimes people don't like me. Oh, well. If your children love you all the time, you are a lousy parent. If your children are always happy and think you're the nicest person on the planet, you are a lousy parent. Because at some time or another, you got to tell little Junior no, and you have to explain to Junior that no's a freaking complete sentence.
Yeah, I think
meant
that's the
no, I
hardest
said
part
no,
for her.
and I'm not going to explain no. I'm not negotiating with you. I don't capitulate and call that negotiating. I'm larger than you. I can take you out and make another one look just like you. So, I mean, this is parenting, right? But it's not, I mean, I'm being sarcastic, but the bottom line is that, we see these people, this stuff starts, you see them in restaurants and they're 4 years old and you see the child is in charge of the household. You see the inmate is running the asylum in the restaurant because the kid throws a fit and everybody circles around the kid like the kid's got a problem. I'll help the kid have a problem. It'll be an uncomfortable day for him, and that's what's going on here, kiddo. So you just got to help her be more loving and less nice. More loving and less nice. This is the Dave Ramsey Show.
Fridays just got fabulous. Don't forget to reserve a seat in the Happy Hour Lounge with Ben and Alexander every Friday at 6 p.m. on KCAA 1050 AM.
most overlooked priorities in a family's financial plan is life insurance. Having it and having the right amount are crucial. If you died, how would your family pay the bills, put food on the table, and plan for the future? Term life insurance is protection for the ones you love. It's not complicated and it's not expensive. People need to deal with this, which is why I found a company I trust and I do business with, Xander. Please take the time to take care of your family.
This is KCAA.
Tired of spending too much money on an ad and then trying to find your ad in the newspaper, buried among hundreds, even thousands of other ads? Isn't it time you got a great deal when you were trying to sell that car, that dining room set, that refrigerator, or offering your handyman services? Now you can in the Nickel Shopper. For as little as $7.50 per week, your ad can be seen by thousands of eyeballs in the high desert, and they're getting the Nickel Shopper for free. Call today to place your ad in the Nickel Shopper, 760-646-3654, or go to thenickelshopper.com for all the details, 760-646-3654. The Nickel Shopper. Now in the IE.
Here's a look at the KCAA community calendar. You can win tickets to the Junior University Musical Theater presentation of The Jungle Book. Just listen to KCAA all day long and get ready to win. Are you looking for adventurous entertainment for the whole family? Then join Junior University for a musical theater experience that is unmatched under the stars at Roosevelt Bowl in Paris Hill Park. This year, it's Mugwai and the Adventures in the Heart of the Jungle as Junior University presents William R. Dixon's adaptation of The Jungle Book. Show dates are July 17th through August 1st. Starting time is 8:15 p.m. General admission is just $10 for adults, and children 12 years old and younger are just $5. Two parents and all their children under 18 years can purchase a family ticket at the box office for just $25, and you can save 20% on a family ticket if you print it out at home by going to junioruniversity.org. Listen to KCAA and win tickets to The Jungle Book. And that's a look at the KCAA community calendar. I'm Mark Westwood.
Did you know here at KCAA 1050 AM that we developed an app for all your Android devices? We're talking about your smartphone, your tablets, you name it. You have an Android format, you can take KCAA with you everywhere you go. We're talking about our audio stream, our video stream, and even our podcast. Go to KCAAexpress.com. That's KCAAexpress.com. KCAAexpress.com.
If you like jazz, you'll enjoy getting together with me. I'm Tommy Hawkins, a jazz hawk. Tune into my show, Just Jazz, Saturday nights from 10 to midnight on KCAA 1050 AM.
Are you tired? Are you tired of being tired? Do you hate your job? Do you feel like you're on a hamster wheel and want to jump off into balanced living? Then tune in every Thursday at 7 p.m. for Take My Advice, I'm Not Using It, Get Balanced with Dr. Marissa. It's a show about hope and how you can be happy 88% of the time. So there's no CNN, constantly negative news, no gossip, no scandal, and no K-words, no Kardashian talk. Instead, you will hear callers ask Dr. Marissa, also known as the kinder, gentler Dr. Laura, for advice about love, hate, money, jobs, sex, and what to do next. So join me every Thursday at 7 for Take My Advice, I'm Not Using It, Get Balanced with Dr. Marissa on KCAA AM 1050 NBC News Radio.
America, we are glad you're here. A lot of stuff going on around Ramsey Solutions these days. One of the biggest things happening around here is the explosion of this retire-inspired movement by America's voice for retirement, Chris Hogan, who is with us to hang out and talk a little bit about retirement. Welcome back, Chris.
Well, thank you for having me.
Good to have you. Good to have you. So our new Millionaire Hour segment that we're doing has really gotten people's attention. It has become one of the debt-free scream and the Millionaire Hour, where actual millionaires call in. By the way, we're going to do another one of those Wednesday the 29th at 3 o'clock Central Time. For those of you that do the podcast, it'll be the third hour of the show on Wednesday the 29th. But people hearing actual stories is getting them fired up.
It sure is. Dave, it's one of those things where people start to understand that as they work the information you've been telling us for over 20 years, that it leads you to a destination. And I think when people are able to hear everyday people that have hit that plateau, they've hit that mark that they maybe have always dreamed about but never thought they could do it, it's encouraging other people to realize, I can do it too. It makes it attainable, and I think that's a great thing.
You know, and it's interesting that, you know, none of them are NFL stars or none of them are Hollywood or music stars or something like that. They're people that worked a job as an engineer, worked a job as a couple teachers, and most of them, the vast majority of them that call in never made over $200,000 a year. And what we find is that they saved steady for 20 years, 30 years, 40 years. They saved steady. And then they're calling in with $1 million, $2 million, $3 million, $5 million net worth. Hadn't had many over $5 million that have called in, but I think it's so encouraging because it says everybody should be a millionaire. Everybody in America really, if you could teach people to start this process in their 20s, yes, everybody should be a millionaire, shouldn't they?
Absolutely.
The math says that.
It works. And so I think on another time that I'm going to join you, we're going to talk about compound interest. But it does work. And as you look at this and you start to understand that and you start to believe it, and I think the more people believe it, they can match their actions with their goals. They can match their actions with the things that they really desire, and they start to see progress. And it's got to be encouraging. It has to let people know that, hey, they can do it, which lets other people know. So I'm glad that you have that hour so people can hear it and start to understand, what am I doing today to help me and my family reach that status as well?
All right, let's do this. If you want to talk about how you can be a millionaire, you got a question about your retirement, what have you got to do to get there? We've got the man, Chris Hogan's here. The voice of retiring inspired in America, America's voice on retirement. We'll take your calls right now, and we'll take them next segment. And Chris and I'll talk through this segment. And so if you want to talk to Chris, you want to talk to me about what you've got to do to hit that number, because it's a pretty bold statement to say everyone should retire a millionaire. But it's actually mathematically correct.
Yeah, it's feasible.
Yeah. Now, I'm not saying if you're 69 and you're going to retire in a month that you could turn into a millionaire. But I'm saying if you had started, and here's the thing, this is what's weird is if you're 30 or 40 or 50, it's not too late.
No.
You just got to get going.
Well, you're right, Dave. And imagine, instead of when you get a raise each year or your business earns extra money, you start to get intentional about where that's going to go. And we're going to talk a little bit about that because we've got to keep lifestyle in check. Too many of us have lifestyle blowing up and your savings is dwindling. And so you haven't matched that goal to that action. And so now you're trying to drive the new car each and every year, and you're trying to do that. That's where your retirement is. Most people are driving their retirement, or they're spending it on the weekends at the mall because they're having a $1,000 weekend. They go on Friday and celebrate that it's Friday. Then they go on Saturday to celebrate that it's Saturday, and you look up, and there's $1,000 gone to the mall.
And out to eat and everything else.
Absolutely.
And then you look up and wonder why there's no money in your kid's college fund and no money in your retirement fund. And then you have the panic attack at 57 years old and go, oh, my God, I'm going to have to live on Social Security, which is well known for its ability to take care of me. Yeah, no, thank you. I have to buy that cookbook, 72 Ways to Prepare Alpo, and love it. So if you want to know what your number is, you want to know how you're doing towards retirement, we've got the RIQ at ChrisHogan360.com. Chris, explain to him what that is.
Yes. What it is, the RIQ, what I wanted to do was help people boost their retirement IQ. I mean, we all know you boost your IQ by getting smarter. I wanted people, Dave, to get smarter about retirement, to understand what's at stake and what your options are. So if you go to my website, you plug in a few numbers, it helps you see what's the big number you need to live the life you want in retirement, and what do you need to do now
to get to that number.
To get to the number. See, I don't want people just to get excited and motivated and then do what? I want them to do planned actions. I want them to take steps in that direction. Because what happens when you do that, you get more encouraged. You start to figure out, oh my goodness, if I can not spend that money on the weekend, that's $500 I could send toward retirement.
Yeah, you have a plan.
Absolutely.
And if you don't have a plan, all you end up with is broke. I mean, 100% of the time you leave home without a map and without knowing where you're going 100% of the time you're lost.
Absolutely.
I mean, and it's the same thing's true with your retirement plan. So the RIQ, the Retire Inspired Quotient, to learn what your retirement IQ is, it's a free tool. And the first thing it does is give you your number, the number you need at retirement based on your dream process that Chris will walk you through. And then that backs out based on your age and some sets of assumptions that the tool uses and some investing, how much you need to be saving a month to hit that number based on your current age and based on the number of dollars you already have saved. All of those go in there. Now, if you don't like the inflation rate that we built into the tool, which was, I think, 4%, or you don't like the 12% rate of return that we built into the tool, you can change it. The tool can be manipulated. And so if you want to put savings rate of 4% in there, I don't care. You want to put you're going to make 8% on your money. You want to make 18% on your money. You can run different sets of assumptions and see where that will take you towards your goal. But the point is, you start to have very specific guidelines. I know I need to do this per month, or I'm not going to be at my RIQ number.
That's right. And people start to see that. And I'm glad you point that out, that it is a tool. I want people to sit down with their spouse if they're married. Look at this thing. Have a conversation. Send it to your parents. Send it to your brother. Share it. I think when people get enlightened and understand things, they can start to take steps in that direction. You make sacrifices on your own because you know what you're working toward.
Yeah, if you don't have a goal that has enough nobility to overcome today's desires, today's desires will always eat the goal.
Yeah.
You got to have something that's big enough. Your why you're doing this has got to be big. And so you start with the dream process, and that's my dream. That's my why. And, I want to retire with dignity. I want to change my family tree. Well, what's that look like exactly? And then what numbers go with that? The RIQ at ChrisHogan360.com. Now, the other thing that's going on is you're going to be doing these events, the Retire-inspired events, in 3 cities, right?
Yes, sir. I am very excited to be going to 3 places and really diving into this, spending a few hours showing people how do you start to dream, and then what are some actions you have to take, and what do you need to know about investing, and how do you work with your spouse, and what's the dream team you need to build. So I'm excited to give America this information, Dave, so they can get started.
Yeah, that's the thing to do. So the 3 cities?
I am going to be, help me out here, I'm in
Kansas City, Denver, and Oklahoma City.
Absolutely.
I've got the cheat sheet. So Kansas City's November 2nd, and Denver is November the 12th, and Oklahoma City is December the 5th. The tickets are $59 is all. If you want to come on a spousal ticket, the 2 of you can come for $99. You can get your tickets at ChrisHogan360.com. While you're over there checking out your RIQ, sign up for Kansas City, for Denver, or for Oklahoma City. And then Chris will also be with me at the Smart Money Tour in the fall. He and I will be in 5 cities with that, walking you up the baby steps. And, of course, Chris will be talking about baby steps 4 and 5, college and retirement, which is his areas. And that's Baton Rouge, Atlanta, Georgia, Nashville, Oklahoma City, and Louisville. And tickets for those can be found at DaveRamsey.com as well. So you want to talk about retirement? How do I retire a millionaire? How am I doing? What have I got to do from here? You call in and we'll talk this next segment with Chris Hogan, America's voice for retirement. The number is 888-825-5225. This is the Dave Ramsey Show.
This is KCAA.
California headline news: a wildfire is threatening homes as it burns through rugged and dry terrain near the Napa and Solano County lines. These campers are worried that their RV will go up in flames.
I had some valuable things in there, but we're okay. That's the main thing. We're okay. If it burns up, it burns up. What can we do?
Cal Fire officials say the Rag Fire has consumed 4,000 acres so far. Mandatory evacuations in place for a number of communities near Lake Berryessa. It's only 5% contained. House Speaker John Boehner on Capitol Hill pushing for a crackdown on so-called sanctuary cities, which shield residents from federal immigration authorities like San Francisco, where the recent shooting death of a woman at the hands of an illegal immigrant deported 5 times has added fuel to the fire.
While terrible people do terrible things, this tragedy was preventable. And the fact is, some cities decide to ignore our laws. And not only is that wrong, but it's clearly dangerous as well.
Geico weather dry today. I'm John Gilliland, California Headline News.
It's Lisa G here. Hey, I think you're all beautiful. I love you guys. And I'll bet a lot of you out there have acne. I feel your pain. It's embarrassing, and you're thinking, how on earth can I get rid of it, right? One word, Proactiv. I'm telling you, prescription-grade Proactiv heals your acne and even prevents future breakouts. How great is that? There's a reason why so many celebrities use Proactiv. Their faces are their money. It's time to get it because Proactiv has set up a special dedicated 800 number for my listeners. So get ready to punch that number into your phone. Pull over if you have to. Here's the deal. $19.95 gets you Proactiv, plus a rotating deep cleansing brush. It's valued at $45, and it's yours free. So is the shipping. For only $19.95, you, my friends, are guaranteed to get clear and stay clear, or you'll get your money back. Here's the number, 1-800-644-5944. Call for a lifetime of beautiful skin. Tell them Lisa G sent you. Call 1-800-644-5944.
Who needs friends or Facebook when you have KCAA's Rant Line? You can get it all out at 909-353-1050 with no interruptions. Do you want to tell us how much you're learning from Dave Ramsey?
Keep your expenses down when you're a student.
Maybe you stink. You can't take a shower at your place and you really need to.
Working down there at the largest online retailer in the United States, and they had me unloading them trucks, and I sure need a shower.
Perhaps you're having money issues.
Motel 6 detector rates up. It used to be like $42. Now they're up to $59. Got about $4,000 in the bank, but working part-time, I don't want to whittle into that. Might need it later.
Whatever you need to get off your chest, we are here for you. Give us a call on the Rant Line at 909-353-1050 and rant. We'll listen, we won't interrupt, and we may even play your rant on this station that leaves no listener behind. KCAA 1050 AM.
Friday night, July 24th at Wien's Family Cellars Winery in Temecula. A concert under the stars featuring Berlin. Berlin with lead singer Terry Nunn and their huge hits, Sex and Riding on the Metro. Opening the show, Temecula's very own, the 4019s. The entire show is hosted by me, the Poor Man. Berlin, the 4019s, and dinner. Friday night, July 24th at Wien's Family Cellars Winery in Temecula. Get your tickets now. Go to goldencrownproductions.com. Call 951-658-2411 for more information. Concert in support of Hospice of the Valley. So we'll see you Friday night, July 24th, Wien's Family Cellars Winery in Temecula. Berlin, 4019s, hosted by me, the Poor Man. See you there.
When should I begin taking Social Security? What should I invest in today? And when should I look at making changes? What should I do with my 401k if I change jobs?
Hello, I'm Mo Ansari, host of Market Wrap and president of Compact Asset Management. These are just some of the questions we are asked on a regular basis, and the answers are different for each and every one of you. That's why at Compact Asset Management, we take a holistic approach to wealth management, which means taking the time to get to know you, your lifestyle, and your goals to better invest your money now and make a plan for your future. Call Compact Asset Management at 800-388-9700 and make an appointment to meet with me personally for a free portfolio review and answers to your specific financial questions. That's 1-800-388-9700, 1-800-388-9700.
Compact Asset Management is a registered investment advisor. Funds Custodian Fidelity Institutional Wealth Services, member FINRA SIPC.
Empire talks back.
The attitude that, well, the little guy cannot win seems to prevail, despite the fact that over time we've seen that the little guy, if he is persistent, he becomes the big guy.
Empire talks back.
No, it's because maybe people figure out a little knowledge is like smoke. It leads to the fire.
Empire talks back.
I think this drive for equality, this drive for justice is gathering steam as opposed to fading out. I think more and more people realize the importance of the freedoms that America represents.
Empire Talks Back with Wallace Allen and Friends, Sunday mornings at 10 a.m. on AM 1050 KCAA.
But now it seems like things are finally coming around.
Joining me for a couple of segments here, Chris Hogan, America's voice for retirement. You can find one of the retire-inspired events for Kansas City, Denver, or Oklahoma City in November and December of this year, and sign up for those at chrishogan360.com. You can also investigate his free retirement tool called the RIQ to discover what your retirement IQ is and what numbers you need to have ready to be able to retire with dignity at chrishogan360.com. Chris, you ready to take some calls?
Yes, sir.
All right, New York is with us. Josh is on the line. Hey, Josh, how are you?
Hey, I'm great. How are you?
Better than I deserve. Your question for Chris and me.
Yes. A little background. So I'm 32. My wife's 25. I work at a church in the Hamptons, so one of the most, expensive places to live in the U.S. for sure.
Mm-hmm.
We've been hustling. We've been paying off, $2,000 to $3,000 a month. We're about to pay off my loans in the next couple months here.
Yay.
But the obstacle is that my wife, her parents signed her up for quite a few loans in college. Researched, got a lot of private loans. So we're talking like the high five figures, like somewhere in the $90,000 range.
Mm-hmm. What's your household income?
Our household income, she does a lot of freelance stuff, but she's bringing it in. I make 44. She's probably making around 30.
Okay. And so all the money she spent on her education, what's her degree in?
Her degree is in music, vocal performance. So she is putting it to use. It's just, it doesn't bring in a ton.
Yeah, like not much, considering what she invested in it. Okay.
Right.
All right, so you guys are making $75,000 a year living in the Hamptons, and you got $90,000 in student loan debt to pay off.
Right, so her parents are paying it off right now, and they intend on, at some point they'll pass them off to us. So my question is, if we want to be on track to retire, having built some wealth, do we let them keep pay for years and not make much headway, or do I give them a plan to, team up and pay it off in 3 years or something like that? Is it possible for us to take it on and still, build wealth?
The obligation that you have for this student loan is confusing to me. It's unclear.
Sure.
What is it? What is your obligation?
My wife is co-signed.
Oh.
Right?
Okay.
She's definitely co-signed. From my perspective, I'm like, well, she was 18 when you signed her up for this, and it really was unwise. So, we could team up, but I don't feel even right about taking it on completely.
Yeah, well, I do, because it's in her name, and it's not going away if they do it.
Sure.
So I would team up on it and get it out of your way so that you can start saving for retirement. Chris, what do you think?
Yes, sir. Josh, if I'm you, I'm going to sit down with them, the four of you, and we're going to have an adult conversation about these student loans, and as far as what their intent is and the game plan. And the reason I say that, my friend, is so you can understand what their actions are going to be, and then you and your wife can decide what you're going to have to do. And, so that way it's not this unknown that's out there floating around, keeping you up late at night, keeping her up late at night. You guys can buckle down, get serious about this, and look at it. And it may mean that you all are relocating out of the expensive place of the Hamptons, finding a cheaper place to live so you can downgrade lifestyle and increase the attack on this debt so you can start to increase the amount that you're building in the name of wealth.
Right.
Her name is on this. If they don't pay it, you got it.
Right, I know, and that's my worry. Is that I was honestly racking my brain. Like, do I take out a life insurance policy in case something happens to me and just let them keep going, or all kinds.
Well, you should have life insurance on you and on your wife anyway, aside from this discussion. But I think the idea that they don't have enough to pay it off quickly, you don't have enough to pay it off quickly. So your idea of teaming up, and Chris's idea of you sitting down with them and creating a very clear, open communication plan where we're not all ducking and hiding behind shame or accusation or anything else. Bottom line is, doesn't matter how we got here. We're here. Both of you got a $90,000 problem. So I'd team up on it and have a lot of clarity on how to get the thing out of your life. And those are the decisions you're going to have to make. Michael's with us in Lexington, Kentucky. Hey, Michael, how are you?
I'm doing good. Thank you all for all you do.
Thank you.
Thank you for your plan. I just want to check, see if we are kind of, my wife and I, on track. We're debt free, house and everything, and thanks to you for your plan. Right now, where our investments, we have about $250,000, and our home is worth about $125,000. And we just try to make sure that we're on track. We're making somewhere close to $65,000 a year, and we taking out 18% of our income for retirement.
Good. How old are you?
I'm 50. I'll be 56 this month, and she is 50.
Okay. So you're putting another $11,000 on top of that, and you're 56. If we said 10 years from now, that'd be 120 more months on top of that. I must have done something wrong. I got over $3 million, but that might be right. That'd be right, wouldn't it?
Okay.
I think so. Let me do it again. $250,000 currently in there, and let's see, 120 months. All right, and I'm doing this in the calculator, so just bear with me here. But and then $66,000, you said?
Yes.
And 18% of that. Oh, I know what I did wrong. Okay. All right. Now I'm going to get a more reasonable number because I didn't think that was right. Okay, it's more like $1 million. You're going to be right around $1 million or a little less by the time you're 66 at that rate. Does that sound about right, Chris?
Yes, sir. And Michael, what I would encourage you to do is take a look at lifestyle right now and take a look and figure out, what are the other options? If you don't have an investment professional, I want you and your wife to get with one immediately. Sit down, let them look and review what you're invested in right now, what kind of tweaks need to be made, and in how many years till you plan to retire. I want you to get someone up around you to be an advisor and kind of help you, because I'm proud of the progress you all are making. Now what I want you to do is look and figure out, how can you fill some other gaps? Can you start to plug in and use the IRAs? And are you doing some other things that you have eligibility to do? Because at your age, you have some catch-up provisions that you can do in as far as investing. So definitely get with them, sit down, you and your wife together, because I want you both talking to that investment professional. Because she doesn't need to be a stranger in this process. She needs to know that investment professional as good as you do.
Yeah, so that's DaveRamsey.com. Click on ELP for investing. If you don't have somebody that's already walking through this with you, that'd be the person that we recommend in that area. So here's what's interesting. In the 2 calls that we took, one's got a great plan and is well on his way. He's further along in life. The other one, but both are looking and saying, am I okay? And what are my constraints? What are my barriers? What are my hurdles? What are the things that are keeping me from getting to my goal? First young man's $90,000 worth of wife's student loan debt. That's real. And we got to get that out of the way, which opens him up to be able to do that. Debt is not the friend of your retirement plan.
Oh, absolutely not. And you don't want to bring debt with you toward retirement. That's why we got to get serious and start to figure out, Dave, what are we going to sacrifice now so I can experience this freedom and this joy later? And so that's why I was telling him, look at downgrading lifestyle. Sell a lot of stuff. Figure out, how can you earn extra money? You and your wife both. How do we dedicate that directly toward debt? Don't bump up lifestyle. Don't go to a restaurant. Don't take a vacation. Send that all toward debt. Get that out of your life, and you give yourself a raise.
Yeah, you give yourself a raise to be able to A, spend more, B, give more, and C, invest more. And so what we're finding, all the research is pointing to this, and there's some really good research done by one of the actuarial groups out there, the retirement actuarial groups, that says that 74% of the reason that people succeed with their retirement is that they actually put money into retirement. Isn't that insightful?
Yes.
I mean, they spent some money to find that out. But that's interesting for investment group, the professionals group, the quote financial people group, because they all think it's about rate of return or fees, or that's all the problem. It's not the problem. The problem is people don't invest.
Yeah, that's a smoke screen.
Yeah.
Start to put money there and let it grow and keep your lifestyle in check and watch what happens. I guarantee you'll win.
There'll be money. That's how it happens. Chris, thanks for hanging out.
Thank you for having me.
ChrisHogan360.com to run your RIQ, your retire-inspired quotient, your retirement IQ. And, of course, you can sign up for the Retire Inspired event in Kansas City, in Denver, and in Oklahoma City in November and December, all at ChrisHogan360.com.
Something's in our blood that doesn't belong there. It's man-made and can attack key organs. Join me, Elaine McFadden, host Smart Health Talk, this Thursday, 4 o'clock p.m. as top expert reveals, right here on KCAA, the station that leaves no listener behind.
I literally started my business on a card table in my living room. In those days, I was the one responsible for keeping track of my expenses. And if I wanted my family to eat, I had to make sure the money was coming in. I was a true entrepreneur. Nowadays, I know there's a better way. It's called FreshBooks, and I'm a big fan of what they do. FreshBooks is an online software and mobile app that allows you to track your time, capture expenses, and create professional invoices. It's easy and it works. Find out what over 5 million entrepreneurs and small business owners just like you have already discovered. You can try it free today at getfreshbooks.com. Just enter the Dave Ramsey Show under How Did You Hear About Us for your free 30-day trial. That's getfreshbooks.com. And remember, enter the Dave Ramsey Show to get started today.
This is KCAA.
Wet n Wild Palm Springs is the one where you get big water park fun barefooting. In the sun barefooting. Flow rider barefooting. Wet n Wild barefooting. Bring your friends and stay all day. Wet n Wild is your place to play barefooting.
Yeah, you gotta get barefooting this summer at Wet n Wild. Dive into all the thrills, all the action, all the fun. Take on awesome slides and rides. There's big fun for kids and much more. This summer, we have extended hours, dive-in movies every Friday, and everyone gets free tubes. Plus, save $7 on admission when you buy online or grab discount coupons at area Jack in the Box restaurants. For your best summer ever, it's Wet n Wild.
Slipping, sliding, barefooting. Getting soaked, barefooting. Wet n Wild, barefooting.
Wet n Wild.
Barefooting. Wet n Wild, barefooting.
Wet n Wild. Park open daily.
Check us out on Instagram where you can watch videos, see pictures, and listen to audio of all your favorite KCAA shows. That's right, KCAA 1050 AM is now on Instagram. Go get your account.
Like to spend a few days in another world? Then write this down. Golden Bear Cottages, Big Bear Lake. Now, listen, this is not some corporate-owned operation. It's family-owned and operated by some real nice people. Unique? Oh, you bet. Golden Bear Cottages features 28 one-of-a-kind cabins on a 5-acre historic site. Great for families, couples, and groups. And cabins are available with 1 to 7 bedrooms. Golden Bear Cottages is just a stone's throw from Big Bear Lake and super close to 3 great ski areas. Now, I could go on all day about Golden Bear Cottages in Big Bear, but to see everything, just go to goldenbear.net. Again, goldenbear.net. Golden Bear Cottages in Big Bear. Clean, comfortable, and affordable. Check them out. goldenbear.net.
Jump off that exhausting hamster wheel and into balanced living with Dr. Marissa. Her mission, to be a beneficial presence on the planet. Her purpose, to be your personal advocate to live, love, laugh, learn. Her life motto, don't die wondering. Take back your life with Dr. Marissa Fay.
Every Thursday night at 7 on KCAA. NBC News Radio.
Very cool. And all the way over here, 45 minutes away to do a debt-free screen.
That's right.
Good. And how much debt have you paid off?
$56,000.
Very cool. Making what kind of money?
Started at $49,000 and ended at about $55,000.
Great. And how long did it take you to pay off the 56?
3 years and 3 months.
3 years and 3 months. Okay, so you did about $20,000 a year, give or take, making 49 to 55. So you might have cash flowed that, or did you sell anything big?
Nope, it was all cash flow. We just worked our way through it.
Beans and rice, rice and beans.
That's it.
Very cool. What kind of debt was this $56,000?
Student loans and a car payment.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Cool. So what do you guys do for a living?
I'm a hairstystist, and he's a musician.
A musician?
Yes, sir.
In the Nashville area?
That's right.
Really?
Imagine that, right?
Shocking. Okay. It's hard to find one of those, yeah. That's good. Good for you guys. Excellent. So tell me the story. What happened 3 years and 3 months ago that inspired this big change in your life to get out of debt?
Yeah. It was December of 2011, and I just realized that we couldn't pay our rent in January.
Ooh.
Yeah. And we had been married for about 2 years, but we kept our finances separate. We were living basically as roommates and just didn't know how to work our finances. And so I had a heart-to-heart with the Lord and expressed some interest in getting some training in our finances, which we did. Beginning of the year, I had 4 gigs roll in the first 2 weeks of January, which is virtually unheard of.
Yep.
And we made our first extra payment towards debt in March of 2012.
Cool. Very cool. Yeah. You said financial training. Did you all go through FPU then or something?
We did. We went through FPU twice, and we've led it twice as well.
Oh, wow. Okay. So beginning January of that year when those gigs came in, or when?
Yeah, I think we started...
that January.
Okay. All right. So you're praying and you're like, okay, God, I don't know what to do. I need some help here.
That's right.
And he looks over at Gabriel and goes, hey, look, that one woke up. I think he's ready. We're going to send him a little money and see what he does.
Yeah, and it was interesting. I was first exposed to the radio show back in college. I had a roommate who was an avid listener. And at the time, I just wasn't really ready to kind of receive that teaching. I hadn't felt the weight. I hadn't felt the pain of the debt until that December.
You know, it doesn't really matter your age, but there's something that happens. It happened to me in my late 20s going broke, that when you decide to take control of this and wrestle it to the ground, you know, and own it, there's a kind of a grown-up thing that happens there, whether you're 55 or whether you're 15, when you finally do that. And that's kind of what you all went through, it sounds like.
I'd say so, yeah.
Okay, cool. So Thomasina, he comes in and goes, okay, we can't pay the rent. What'd you say?
I mean, it was definitely scary, but as soon as we kind of started working together with the budget and everything, it came together.
Pretty quick then.
Yes.
Once you realize there's a problem, you can turn the corner on.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
Okay.
That first time we sat down to do the budget, we were like, okay, this is doable. We can do this. We felt empowered, I think, for the first time in our relationship.
So it wasn't a fight then?
No.
No, it was just like, we got to do this, let's do it.
No, I'll tell you what, man, it was an incredible blessing for me to see my wife come alongside me and walk this journey together. She's been so supportive and just incredible through this whole thing. She's so thrifty and just... you know, she was in it from day one.
Cool. Sounds like you both were. That's awesome. Very well done. Okay, so when people find out that you've paid off $56,000,
yeah,
that just sounds like you lost 300 pounds. They say, how'd you do that? What do you tell? They want to know because they want to go do it. And they're listening to you right now, or they're hearing you, or they're seeing you on YouTube right now. How do you do this? What are the secrets to getting out of debt? Thomasina?
It was absolutely communication and sitting down and doing the budget. We did it weekly.
Yes, we did.
We had to.
We're both free spirits.
Yeah.
So at first it was a chore.
Well, and you got unusual gigs. You don't know sometimes 2 weeks out what you're going to make.
That's right.
Correct. Yeah, we're both irregular income, so that kind of brought some new challenges.
Yeah,
for sure.
It makes you do it more often.
Yes.
So that you can adjust it. So the budget and a constant lean on the budget, and then communication to go with that. That's good.
And a lot of support.
Yes.
Okay.
David and Holly Stevenson was they're a couple that kind of mentored us through this whole process.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. And how you connected to them?
We go to church together.
Okay. So they were like an FPU with you probably too then?
Yeah.
They were our original leaders, and then 2 times later we started co-leading with them.
Very cool. Very cool. Well, congratulations, you guys.
Thank you.
Very cool. Very cool. Delaney, what do you play?
I'm a bass player and a background vocalist.
Okay. All right. With anybody we know?
Not yet, but I play for an artist named Michael Tyler, whose first single is going to be coming out here in the next couple months.
Well, we'll know it soon then. Congratulations. Very well done. Cool. Good for you guys. Excellent job, guys. Excellent job. All right, Delaney and Thomasina, Murfreesboro, Tennessee. $56,000 paid off, 3 years and 3 months, making anywhere from $49 to $55 a year. Count it down. Let's hear a debt-free scream.
3, 2, 1.
We're debt-free! I love it. I love it, I love it, I love it. Well done, you two. fun. Rock star couple, man. I love it. No pun intended. Wow. Excellent job, guys. Wow, that is excellent stuff. You got to enjoy that. You got to enjoy that. Our question of the day comes from Blinds.com. Trying to keep your house cool without it feeling like a cave? Well, why not get some insulating cell shades from Blinds.com instead? They'll keep the heat outside so you can let the sunlight in. That's pretty cool. And the prices are far better than what you'd find at the stores. So go to Blinds.com and get easy and affordable cell shades today. Denise gives us our question from Arizona. She says, we co-signed student loans for our daughter, for the tune of about $50,000. She got them deferred several years ago, went to law school on a scholarship. Since then, she's estranged herself from our family and has defaulted on the loans. We are not in the position to make these payments at this time. Who can we turn to for some repayment help? You can't. There's no society for paying back loans from your daughter who doesn't speak to you, who's a lawyer. Ouch. That's sad. This is the danger of co-signing. You never co-sign a loan ever, folks. I don't know what to tell you, Denise. I think you're going to end up paying this eventually. You can't pay it now, and I would just tell them you can't pay it now. It's just going to continue to build up. Hopefully, they will identify that she's a more rich target for them to hit on than you. And if you know where she is and they call you, I would tell them where she is. And let them, knock on her door. Let them ring her phone off the hook. Let them talk nasty to her like they've been doing to you. And so I would sick them on her. But eventually someone's going to pay this, or it's going to continue to be in your life and in your face. Proverbs 17:18 in the contemporary English version of Scripture, folks, says, only someone who is stupid cosigns for another. There you go. It is stupid to cosign for another. The Bible says that. Now, if you want to go to the New King James Version or something like that, it's a little nicer. It says, one lacking in sense signs surety for another. Proverbs 17:18. But it's in the Bible. Cosigning stupid. That's what it amounts to. Never cosign. It's my baby. She wants to go to school. My grandson wants a truck. Never cosign. Ever. It's stupid. I've done it, and it burned me. I had people do it for me, and they got burned. Never cosign. This is the Dave Ramsey Show.
Brad Dalius, host of the Beat Pod Show. Join me each week for the latest news and entertainment, including new movies, TV shows, music, comedy, and more. You'll also hear inside stories from the stars themselves, providing you access to the world of Hollywood. So join me, Brad Dalius,
Sunday at 11 p.m. and Monday at 3 p.m.
every week for the Beat Pod Show, here on CNBC, KCAA, 1050 a.m., the station that leaves no listener behind.
This is KCAA Loma Linda, the station that leaves no listener behind. CNBC News is next, a courtesy of buysellmakeoffer.com, where you can post a video about items you have for sale. Sign up now. It's free.
I'm Chris Maurer, CNBC Business Radio. A sell-off on Wall Street with 3M dragging down the Dow, the maker of everything from adhesives to car wax, lowering its full-year outlook. Also adding pressure, American Express and Caterpillar, both reporting disappointing quarterly results. But it's a good day for General